Everyone, and welcome to this oil painting time. That's part 8. I can't count. I hope you're all doing super well, and thank you so much for your amazing comments on my last video. I'm so grateful. I hope you're having a wonderful week too. The reason I decided to paint an owl for this video is I'm trying to push myself, literally this is the only reason, I'm trying to push myself to paint animals and birds, creatures that are not what I normally paint, because otherwise I would just go back to painting a cat or a mouse or a rabbit, which is basically all in my comfort zone. So I thought, well, I very rarely paint a bird, so I thought I'd paint a bird. And I don't know much about birds. I literally live in a area which is quite leafy, it's quite green, and I don't know any of them. Like, I can name a parakeet, that's probably the only one. That's the green one, isn't it? Oh gosh, I hope that's right. And crows, I seem to attract crows for some reason. Like, that's literally the only bird that ever comes near me. And seagulls, I know seagulls, but you don't get seagulls around here. That's just an extra one thrown in. And pigeons, obviously, because it's England and you can't have England without a pigeon. So I know those ones, but I don't really know any others. So I thought, well, this is the opportunity. I have actually held an owl before when I was about 5 or something. They, you know, like in every school, they give you a bird and you sort of stand there and they take a picture. And I was too small to hold an eagle, of which I was quite relieved actually, because eagles were huge. And so I got this really cute owl and it was really very beautiful. I think it was a barn owl, but actually I don't know. So I guess I'll never know. I have the picture somewhere hidden, but yeah, it was an amazing experience. I do think that owls look really great in art. I'm not entirely sure if I was super happy about the way this turned out, purely because I think I went on a slightly too small a scale with it and I should have painted on a slightly larger canvas. But next week, talking about size, I'm going to be painting on a massive for me, canvas, which is something like 12 by 16. It's actually slightly more than that. I mean, that's not very big, but for me it's bigger because I'm so used to painting in a more miniature form. So yeah, it would be really good. I just really felt like I was painting so many miniature things, and I just thought I need to get a brush and just slap on the paint. And so that's what I did, and actually my painting is coming out quite well so far, so fingers crossed. So that will be up next week, so please make sure you come back next week, all amazing subscribers, because it will be quite an epic piece. It's a very dramatic, I'm not going to say any more, but come back for that one. And yeah, and this video actually was supposed to be something else, believe it or not. It's a very odd story, but this was actually meant to be this was actually meant to be a vlog. This is meant to be a vlog of my day if I get an opportunity to paint all day, which is actually unfortunately not very often because, you know, sadly other commitments and things. But if I do get the opportunity to paint all day, on a rare occasion, I wanted to record it and show sort of what I eat during the day and like what I do and everything just all into one. But it was kind of more focused on the food aspect, because I've seen other artists do these art vlogs, and they always are so fun and I really find them relaxing to watch and amazing. And I just think it's like super inspiring, and it's really great. So this was my plan. So I recorded this and I was going to upload it today. I recorded it quite a while back. And I made the big mistake of, so in the past I've seen like a lot of kind of foodie vlogs, and they've been combined with an art theme, so it would be an artist or a creative person. And I made the mistake of, once I'd finished filming all of it, I thought, well, I should really check to see if you know, the types of things that I'm eating is kind of, you know, what everyone else does on YouTube. So I thought, well, it might be quite interesting to see what people eat on those actual proper food vlogs. So the people who eat, the people who do like just food and lifestyle vlogs. So I had a look on YouTube to see what there was. And obviously I ended up looking at, instead of the slightly smaller YouTubers that I was looking at before, I wouldn't say they were small, but they were not like millions of subscribers. So the millions of subscriber food channels or lifestyle channels that are the most popular for this type of thing. So first of all, they were kind of divided into about, you know, a few different types of categories, the way that big YouTube channels and videos tend to be. It's almost always in the extreme, if you like. So you have channels that have so basically the first one was something like Victoria, was mostly like either models or Victoria's Secret models, which is never a good idea. I don't know why I decided to compare my food vlog with that. It wasn't really supposed to be a comparison, but I started to compare what I was cooking to what a Victoria's Secret model was cooking, and this is never really a good idea. I didn't realise the level of hilarity, and it did sort of make me feel a bit bad, because I don't know why, but Victoria's Secret models have a tendency to eat like one slice of avocado and a cracker or something for breakfast, and I'd had this, like, I'm not going to say exactly what I was going to eat because I feel too scared to upload it, but I like mine in comparison, well, it certainly was not that. And not only that, but they would eat such a little amount and then go to the gym and work out for like 2 hours. And I would think, I mean, I would not be able to do that. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to do like 10 minutes if I'd eaten like a cracker for breakfast. And some of them would have like just powder, like some kind of powdery mixture for breakfast. It was very strange. So I kind of felt like, uh-oh, I think my vlog is not so great. It's definitely not so great. And then the other vloggy kind of food vlog stuff is all the mukbang. Now, I never know how to pronounce this. Mukbang? Mukbang, I think that's right. And so it's like, you know, people eating 5 Happy Meals in like one video, like 3 pizzas. And to be perfectly honest, out of the 2, even though I do find, you know, the whole Victoria's Secret lifestyle, it's quite fun to watch, I prefer slightly the mukbang, because at least the food in that does actually make me feel like running to my local McDonald's. I mean, I don't know whether that's actually a good thing. No, it's not. It's not a good thing. But at the same time, there's something strangely addictive about watching them. And so I kind of like fell down this mukbang like rabbit hole of looking at all this stuff, and yeah, that made me feel a bit better about my diet during the day. But then I went on to the like the people who have these like actual specific diets, these like keto people. I mean, like people who have like a named diet. Now this is probably the most depressing, and this is one of the reasons why I decided not to upload my like art food vlog thing, because well, first of all, they seem to all live in these houses made of like wicker or something, and their clothes are made of wicker, and like, no, their clothes are made of like a potato sack. I mean, I don't know what I'm not saying it's bad, it's probably quite eco-friendly. It's just this kind of like minimalist food thing. They all seem to eat either fruit for every meal or vegetables for every meal, or both fruit and vegetables for every meal, and they seem to never cook anything, and their snacks were like seeds, like just handfuls of seeds, and they would say things like, I'm looking forward to my snack now, and it would just be like this bunch of seeds. I mean, when I look forward to a snack, or when I eat a snack when I'm busy, you know, working, it's not seeds, it's not, I mean, I don't it's certainly nothing I've ever seen other people do in real life, but perhaps I'm just hanging around with the wrong people. I think this is the thing. I should be hanging around with more of these seedy people, people who eat seeds. I suppose it's quite reminiscent of, you know, my painting, the bird lifestyle. I don't know, but it's probably good. Like, I'm sure, you know, these specific seeds have great health benefits, but it's just the whole thing just ended up making me feel like I'm so inadequate in comparison to these people who had these like, and these weren't people who had allergies that they had to have this diet, because that is a different thing, you know, that I can understand, but these were people who voluntarily ate these kind of bizarre things. I mean, maybe it's not bizarre. I actually think perhaps I am behind the whole food thing, because I eat in a very, I'm super health conscious actually, but I do make sure that my meals are balanced in a certain way, and I think that perhaps I've been doing it wrong. So that's the reason why I have not, and probably won't, upload my food art diary thing. And so I don't think it's necessarily bad. I'm a terrible cook anyway. And when I was looking at my food close up, I thought, well, it actually looks quite, you know, not the most appealing. I mean, I think it probably, you know, things that taste great probably don't look that appealing on camera, or at least mine don't anyway. I wish I had some kind of aspirational lifestyle, but I really realised that I don't, despite the fact that I thought I was doing everything right. So yeah, it was just another one of those hilarious moments where I realised I'm behind society. Yeah, so there we are. So I didn't, I think I actually deleted most of the footage. I was actually going to say what I had for breakfast lunch. I didn't like this video's become really kind of like trivial, but I then realised that even that just I might, you know, I felt like that was perhaps wrong, but I do eat, you know, let's put it this way, in comparison to some of those raw food people, I eat like a pig. So yeah, and I think another point that that I suppose I try to end this on a positive thing. I think that perhaps if we do sometimes look at these aspirational things, we shouldn't feel so bad, because to a certain degree, people who live these have these aspirational YouTube channels, possibly they don't eat like that. I mean, imagine that a lot of it, you know, I think, well, I'm not going to say a lot of it, but I think some of it was a bit of a lie. I mean, the people who eat that raw food thing, they must wake up in the middle of the night screaming, like for French fries or something. I know I would. I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming, like for a hamburger or something. Like, I'm not saying you should eat that every day, but there, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having it if you've done a certain amount of exercise. So yeah, so for me, I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that when you're working and you have to keep your energy up, and you're, you know, especially if you're an artist, and not just if you're an artist, if you're somebody who just is busy throughout the day, your diet is going to vary from somebody who kind of their whole business is run through having an aspirational lifestyle and perhaps doing, you know, a tiny bit of, you know, like doing some workout, and then the rest of their day is not that much else, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying that these people don't do anything. I know this is just terrible. I'm going to stop right there. They're all great. Everyone's great. You know, peace on earth. So there we are. So I really hope that you guys like this painting. I actually use miniature brushes in this. So I got these miniature brushes, just quickly, and then I'll shut up. I just got these miniature brushes. They came in a set. If you want me to do a full-on review of them, I will do. They are Pro Art ones. I'm a huge fan of the Pro Art range. Some of my favourite brushes are the grey Pro Art ones. The only problem is those ones are specifically for oil painting, and these ones were for oil, watercolour and acrylic. There was like an all-purpose type brush, and I think that was where I made my slight mistake, because they don't quite have the firmness that I wanted. I do still think they're good at doing the details, but they don't have the central thickness that I need, the density. So I felt like they were slightly on the weaker side. This is being super, super picky. I still think if you buy them, you won't be disappointed. I can still get a very fine marking, but I'm just being like super picky. Although there was a little error in it as well, which is that all the paint started flecking off the brush, and that was only on my second usage of it. So that's not great. I do think that they do need to fix that, because on cheaper brushes sometimes, and these weren't cheap, on cheaper brushes sometimes they do have a tendency to just like all the paint just flakes off. So actually, even on more expensive brushes, that's happened to me, but that's normally happened after like months and months of having them, sometimes even years of having them, whereas this happened on my second use of them. So I don't know, maybe I just got a dodgy one, but I still think they're good, but I feel like because the set was kind of, you know, it was a certain price, it wasn't super expensive, I feel it was too good to be true, and I shouldn't have bought them. But if you do get them, they're not terrible. They do the job. So I'm still on the hunt for like the absolute perfect miniature brush. Will it ever happen? Will I ever get one? Who knows? The amount of disasters I've had with getting these tiny brushes is so hard. I've been through so many, and yeah. So anyway, the search continues. I hope you're all amazing, as I said a million times, and thank you again for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm near 2,000 subscribers, so I've got to get to 2,000. Then I'll have to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. You can suggest something. Please suggest. What should I do at 2,000 subscribers? I have to get there first, obviously, but I gotta do something, right? So yeah. And take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Oh, and here comes the speed paint, so don't turn off.